the flight home was like, especially, once you have to clear customs and all the BS, like it was like a group therapy session on the little people mover from the flight back to wherever you go.
The people mover
customs.
is a blessing. I'm gonna just tell people that, because in Spain, you're on a damn bus.
I didn't get on a bus.
No, the airplanes. If you're on Iberia, American, whatever, you're on a bus, and you go out to the airplane.
I did do that
and
going to
walk
Italy.
up the damn. You don't have to just walk down a little runway or whatever. You walk up the stairs like the team does when they travel. It was different.
Yeah, I've done that before.
That's a huge
I didn't have to
airport,
do
too.
that yet. That is, I had no idea how big of a city Madrid is.
Bruh.
Madrid is New York, Paris, London. Like, it's massive.
When you get on that little train, you ride for a while.
Which train?
The train in the airport. You probably was in a different terminal.
I was in Terminal 1, so it
we
was pretty easy.
We were in T2. My gate was S6, and it was. I'm talking about when you got on the train, you rode.
Damn, all right.
For a minute, dog.
So, all right, I'm not going to complain to you about yesterday then, because it sounds like my day was a little simpler.
Well, no, listen, bro. It ain't the fact of like I make the day work.
Right.
Because hey, I got the.
Were
Charlotte.
you on Iberian or American?
I was on American. I got the Charlotte. We made it work, man. We just went to the what was it called? The something weed was the name of the bar.
Wicked Weed? Because that's a
Weed.
big. We were
in the Wicked Weed right next to Bojangles. Can't beat that.
Did you get some chicken
And
and some
then
beer?
the Wicked Weed is connected with Shake Shack. So they basically, you order your beer and your drinks from Wicked Weed, and they'll walk over to Shake Shack and bring you food to you.
There you go. That's
That
not
was
bad.
cool. Yeah.
Nothing to complain about there.
We worked that out.
I got home. By far, the best thing was just seeing my kids. I got home right before they got home from school. So it was cold, but we just went outside and played and went for a walk. And it was by far like the highlight of getting home was that. And then, but the trip was really incredible. The amount of fans that were over there, like committed to this team, was really cool to see. Mm-hmm. You just wish it wasn't in a lost season.
Yeah, you wish that.
I mean, it's just.
But I think the team should look at the fact that every city they've been to for the last 2 years, this fan base has represented.
Yeah.
Okay? That was out the country. That's not cheap. And I saw people with mom, dad, and the 3 kids, 4 kids, things like that. Some kids young, some kids were older, But the ultimate thing is they have support, and they got to figure it out, because in that game, listen, it's a lot of things that happen positive in that game and things that happen bad in that game. But I can say this, they played better as a defensive unit under Dan Quinn calling the plays.
Totally.
And I also felt that, and I said this before, and I said it to you too, Dan has a rhythm. He's done this before. You could tell how he was calling stuff and how things showed up. Offensively, I'm serious. They got to take shots sometimes. You can't play a defense and the defense know you're not going down the damn field.
Well, and they finally take the shot just before overtime, and that we've said this repeatedly. If 17's on the field, I think that's a touchdown.
Yeah,
I think it's a walk-off win.
But the simplest thing, I'll tell you this, if the damn kicker could kick a field goal, they would have won.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's the second international game for the organization where if the kicker can make a kick, it's a win.
And they allowed that. They didn't give him any competition, kept him around. That dude cost him some games.
Well, I think, unfortunately, what we saw in Miami is a microcosm of
in
Madrid. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
What we saw against Miami. Because you just said a few things that have been problems that we've known about.
Yeah.
And it's a microcosm of, I don't know if it was confidence, complacency, arrogance, but if you would recognize, things are going wrong, we need to change it sooner, and not, we're going to ride out this storm. Like, so after 4 straight historically bad defensive performances, they make a change at D coordinator. It looks like it worked. I think you have to consider the opponent and consider the opponents previous to that.
That comes into it as well.
But it looked different.
Yeah.
And
it
then
looked different.
And then after the kicker, and Matt Gay is a great dude. Like, I really like him as a person.
I told you a long time ago, Jay, they don't pay dudes to be great dudes. They pay them to be great football players.
And
being a great dude is a bonus.
And the kicker position is by far the most binary of every position on a football field. Mm-hmm. It's a make or miss position. There's no context. There's no, a bad penalty here and there. It's just, did you make the kick or not?
Yeah.
And for 10 weeks, he hasn't made enough kicks. And they just stuck with him. And then in week 11, they finally said, all right, we got to do something. So they cut Matt Gay yesterday, in case you live under a rock and didn't realize that. But you just wonder, what if you cut Matt Gay 3 weeks ago when he had missed too many kicks? What if you had made...
There's been opportunities where they could have made that change.
Totally. What if Dan Quinn, after back-to-back blowouts, after just Dallas and Kansas City, said, you know what, I'm going to start calling the defense here.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
Man, I don't know if it's as simple as Dan just calling the plays. I think now, when you have your head coach calling the defensive plays, you might want to study a little bit more, move a little quicker, do things a little better. And I saw that too. I saw quickness. I saw guys getting to the spots. I didn't see as much confusion as I've seen before.
Totally. But there's nothing to say we wouldn't have seen that earlier if they made the switch earlier. And one thing we did see that was differently was blitzing, was manufacturing pressure.
And the thing of it is, when you have someone that has experience calling it, just like offensive coordinators, offensive coordinators get a rhythm and then they can set stuff up. Defensive coordinators have the same thing happen. And I think Dan's experience allowed it. But what happens is, who's to say Joe can't do that eventually? Right now, he probably wasn't ready for it, to call it in the rhythm that Dan does. But I just, listen, man, I saw a different effort from that defensive side.
Totally.
And I think right there, listen, man, players got to understand.
I think it was the best game their linebackers
they have to
all
step
year.
out and just go for it, man. You can't always sit up here and lay back and let the coordinator get the blame. Players got to learn how to step up and play with that same energy they had in that game.
I can't help but wonder what difference Daron Payne might have made in that game. In a game that was a razor-thin margin, and you get beat on the ground, because Tua wasn't very good. He didn't even get to 200 yards passing. If you have Payne, what difference does that make in that game? That to me stood out because, they were able to move the ball
they were
on
able
the ground.
to get to the edges at will, and I don't think Payne stops you from getting to the edges.
I agree.
I think running up the middle, Payne stops. In that game, without Payne, they should have won the game. You just need to have the guy who could do his damn job. He didn't do it. Okay, all the stuff they did in that game, they should have still won that football game. All the things that weren't great, they should have still won that football game.
It's remarkable, too, because we talk about complimentary football. Dan Quinn talks about complimentary football. Offensively, they were okay. They weren't good, but they were okay. I don't like zone. You got to be better, right?
I can tell you, I don't like the fact that C-Rod running the ball unbelievable, and you just go away from him. He should have got a lot more carries, and he would have had more yards because he was ready.
But I'm with you. Offensively, you're okay. Defensively, you're better than you've been by a significant margin. Mm-hmm. I think some of that you got to account for playing a different opponent. Special teams, dude. You miss 2 field goals and muff a punt.
Yeah.
See, you're probably not going to win.
And I'll say
you're probably not going to win.
The 2 field goals killed it, but I would go with the muff punt thing. Mikey has caught punts before. And this is what I want most people who think because they did something in high school or they the same side that they could do something in the league. The feel for that return game is different when you just do it in practice. See, Mikey catch punts in practice.
Off a jugs machine.
And you know what's happening? It's a jugs or it's a punter with nobody coming. As soon as that ball was hit, I'm like, oh, hell, because I see him focus on the football and he's not thinking about fair catch. You saw him run past his guys blocking a Miami Dolphins guy. When you run past guys, you know what I mean? You should have been fair catching this damn butt. He was never in position. He never had his mind on fair catch, and he was trying to charge it. Both me and Santana, I think we've done enough returning, so we have a damn good opinion of this. Tanner said, immediately I would have been backing away from that one, calling Oski, get away from the ball, clearing people out, or I'm going to try and fair catch it. My thing was, at that moment, I'm waving the arms because at that point, I have the direct line to the ball. Everybody else got to get the hell out of my way. because he had to go around to try to come up to the ball. So it was just the wrong decision was made. He made this decision to catch that ball no matter what. And that was the wrong decision at that point.
Totally. And
because it was one that kind of died. Like punts, you got to watch the nose of the ball. If that nose don't turn over, it's falling away. And that ball fell away from him and it hit him, boom, right on the tip of his fingertips.
And it's easy. If you choose to, you could say, well, that Mikey turnover didn't hurt them because they were able to stop them on fourth down at the goal line, right? And the defense deserves a lot of credit for that stop. But you know what would have happened if he didn't fumble it? If he didn't muff
they
the
get
punt?
it on offense.
They could have
take
scored.
time off, and they could have scored. And you could have got more time off that clock as well.
Right.
You know, so it's like, look, little things happen in that game, and we can go through and dissect all of them. But there were some good things as well. But the bad things just seem to overwhelm. You are not going to overcome 3 turnovers.
No.
Okay?
2, I think.
Two turnovers. It was with the fumble and the INT at the end.
So
you're not going to overcome those things. You got to win the turnover battle. They didn't win that.
You can't. That was Cosby said it after the game, and I think he said it really well. He's like, I think we just found a way to lose. I don't know that either team was significantly better than the other on Sunday in Madrid.
As I look at the game, I said they were like, no, you take it. I don't want it. You take it.
It was hot potato for the win.
It seemed like nobody wanted that damn football game.
And I know that let's be real. The exported product to Spain on Sunday wasn't very good. It was a pair of 3-7 teams. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, they performed like 3-7 teams. Washington was moving the ball like crazy in the second quarter. They get 1st and 10 from the 27. To your point, C-Rod's carving them up. Mm-hmm. They go 3 straight passes, 1st and 10 from the 27. On third down, Mariota takes a sack, loss of 6. What could have been a 45-yard field goal becomes a 51-yard field goal. What does Gay do? Misses it. That's a bad football team, bad football teaming. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, so Tischler and I had a disagreement about this where he kind of wanted to highlight the positives from that game. And if that's your choice, you can have that. But we're talking about a team that's lost 6 straight and is now 3-8 at the bye week.
Yeah, but it's nothing wrong with highlighting the positives. Like you see things in bad situations, you want to find out what's changing, what you can build off of as the season goes or into next year. So there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think there's anything to build off of this year. I think you're starting to identify what can help you next year. Yeah. I think McGee's a big piece of that. I think Amos was a big piece of that, and it sucks he got hurt. But but
that's things that are positive that you could build off of moving into next year. You don't want to go to just say to hell with this year, and then at the beginning of the year you got to start completely over. You want to know what things you feel could be implemented that you could roll. You could go into next year saying we're going to have a much better approach and a much better start than they did this year. Because this year, from the beginning, it didn't seem like it was good.
Dude, camp was light. Granted, you lose that one preseason practice against the Ravens, but nobody really played. You had the Terry holdout. You had Mariota missed most of the game. Like, just everything has been disjointed. And I think organizationally, they have to get back to a place where it's not disjointed.
I think that right there, what you're saying is the approach to the season as an organizational group has to be even different. I understand every year you want the players to come in, but what happened last year, that has to change up as well. The intensity needs to be ramped up a little quicker.
Totally. And I think some of that, again, is indicative of a kicker that's been up and down, to say the least, and probably more down than up. Like, you don't make this decision until Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You could have made this decision. I understand wanting to ride it out with a kicker. But like 5-6 weeks in, that's a body of evidence. You don't want to be too reactionary, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but you could have made a decision Halloween that might have won you a game. And then you're 4-7, and the conversation's a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are, 3-8. Dude, unthinkable compared to where this thing was at the beginning. Just unthinkable to what.
Oh, I've been changed my mind from the beginning. The problem is too many people still got the belief from the beginning.
Well, they're nuts.
There have been too many things that have happened that showed you this ain't the beginning. This ain't what we thought it was going to be. And now you got to call it as you see it and continue trying to move forward. That's that.
Absolutely.